welcome to another episode of Four Dads Podcast with Don Julio and Teeds. We missed last week. Unfortunately, last week was just a busy work week, and it was the holiday, so everyone was traveling. Hope you guys all had a great one. But I want to talk about a hot pressing topic right now, Teeds. One that I think everyone can appreciate, which is Nike and Tiger Woods collaborating on a new prototype shoe that was spotted today when he teed off at the, what's the tournament going on right now? Is it the Hero?
I didn't hear what you said. I saw the Nike and Tiger. They're doing their prototype with their new prototype that they're doing with like the foot look like FootJoy shoes. Sorry, it's doing the little cutout thing. But what did you finish on that? Because I was
asking the tournament. Is it the Hero tournament this weekend or what? Which tournament?
Yeah, the Hero Challenge. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So basically, the dead giveaway was the soft spike that I guess is Nike. That is Nike available and Nike adaptable instead of the Cyclones, which is particularly FootJoy. So they were saying that they're gonna try and bring back like a more fancier kind of shoe. I remember Nike back in the day had like a dress shoe soft spike, and
black, all black, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that they're probably trying to replicate something that looks like the FootJoy Premiers that he was wearing, and trying to do that, which I think is huge. But even like the bottom of it is the Nike React bottom, which means that this shoe will be favored to people with higher arches, so it'll be a lot more comfortable for most people.
Yeah, one thing that I started finding out that's even possible are sole swaps. I never knew that people did that, or that it was possible for like an average Joe like you or me, but people can take a Jordan shoe and add a golf swap to the bottom of it or the sole of it, so you can use the Jordan shoe and play golf instead of like drilling a hole into the shoe. It makes it look clean, and I've seen some pretty cool sole swaps, so I assume it's something like that. But on top of that, I had a bunch of these FootJoy Premier shoes. I had like two pairs of the Tarlos, two pairs of the Packards. That was like kind of like the ones that he was like rocking for a little bit. And I had always had issues with slipping with those. And what I ended up doing was looking, like literally Googling Nike Roche G Tours, because those are probably one of my favorite, most comfortable shoes that I've ever worn, golf shoes wise. And
those were really clean.
Literally just, dude, they're clean, they're comfy. I literally just zoomed into the bottom and looked to see what the kind of spikes were, and Amazon searched that and literally swapped out those spikes and had no issues after that. For whatever reason, the spikes that the FootJoys had just didn't work for me. I wasn't able to get good consistency. I was able to slip a lot, and it sucked. And I was thinking maybe that's something that Jordan did, but like the post that you sent me, just like anything else, they black out things, especially when people have sponsors. There's no logos. I know people had done that, and I know in baseball, like I had some friends that played for, let's say, like a Mississippi State or Texas A&M, and at the time they were sponsored by Easton. So if you had any other glove that was not Easton, that was given to you by Easton that you were allowed to wear, they had to black out the whole thing, or you just could not wear it because they had cameras, they had that crazy sponsorship deals, and I would assume it was something along those lines when it came to what he's doing, because when Tiger came out, a year or two ago, doing these rocking these shoes, it was like, okay, obviously it's because of his, comfortability, and he's a different guy now where he can't just wear any shoe and get away with it. He's literally, was it the Masters that he was like limping really badly? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if, like you mentioned, Nike does go back to creating a more traditional shoe compared to the more workout kind of shoe or cross training kind of shoe that they've been coming out with recently. We'll see.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, man, I'm excited. And the thing is like in that video, I think it's so funny how, the guy even mentions like they're building a shoe that's comfortable for Tiger, and Tiger doesn't care what people think. Like if they end up putting it out on the market, people are going to buy it no matter what because it has TW on it.
Yeah, and they're actually coming out again with did you see those? Did you send me that with where they're coming out with the Tiger Woods 13s, but the Masters versions again? They're dropping them like December 8th. Then they've done the same thing with another pair of his shoes the last couple months. And again, anything with just like anything with Jordan on it, those will sell. Anything with Tiger Woods, those will sell.
Yeah,
they won't
speaking
sell
of the
as
Jordan
much
shoes,
as
I
Jordans
love how,
would, but
I think it was
Tiger
Lando
Woods
Norris
moves the needle
who was during the
golf.
Formula. Yeah, during the Formula One or the F1 Netflix Cup, right at the win, where he's on that hillside and he's wearing those new Travis Scotts, and literally he swings and his foot just slips on out, and it was like, yeah, that's the Jordan ones for you right there. Like those low tops. Like if you don't, I don't even know how to describe it. If you don't take care, well, you can't even take care of them. They're basically tennis shoes, but like, yeah, anything that's a bit wet, like, see ya, your feet slip right from underneath you every time.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, on top of that, just talking about Tiger, how he said he's gonna be coming out trying to get to like a tournament a month, a PGA tournament a month. A lot of people were already starting to speculate what tournaments he'd be playing at, per each month. And I thought it was, I mean, why would he do more than a tournament a month if you still want to do competitive golf? Why? There's the only things you got to focus on is the majors. You don't need to worry about the overall wins, right?
Yeah, I personally would like to see him do a few more tournaments a month, but then like utilize it kind of like what Brooks Koepka used to, right? Like get your reps in, kind of get used to like playing.
Get your feet under you, kind of a thing, so you're not just
and then get ready for a major. Like that's the thing is, everyone says, like, everyone asks him the question all the time, like, do you think you can still win? I think Tiger still can. I mean, his game is still really, really solid. It's just the thing that I feel is the most daunting to him is the fact that his stamina, right? Like walking around, he just doesn't have that same pep in his step anymore because his back hurts. Now he's got pretty much a prosthetic leg, and like he hobbles, and a lot of these courses, just like how we saw the Masters, it just ate him up. Like it literally just.
And then the weather too doesn't help either when it gets cooler. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he plays. Especially like at the Riviera, like that's pretty hilly. There's a lot of these courses now, like you mentioned. It's not like the Central Valley where it's just flat and you can just you're fine. But it'll be interesting. I know so many people were just like, oh my gosh, Tiger Woods, he's walking. He looks like he's ready to go. And it's like, yeah, he does now. But like, we'll really get to see it when he plays, because then you're legitimately walking. You got to prepare. Like, it's not easy. I think the last time I walked on a course was like 2021, and I did not like it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a baby. Call me a baby. That's fine. But I give me a cart, man. Give me a cart. I'm not playing pro golf. Give me a cart.
Yeah. I think the last time I walked was last year for the Sonoma Amateur. It was like the first time I had walked. Like I had my buddy TJ Collins on the bag with me, and he was just like, you got to walk these courses, man. Like you just got. I'm like, dude, we play this course every freaking week. Like nothing changes. And he was like, yeah, but you just got to, because at least that way you're getting a feel for it, you're keeping yourself moving. And I was like, at least in the golf cart, we can kind of like listen to some jams, a little bit. Like, it's true. Like, there's some people who are playing in the tournament who have music going on, but it's like very low. You're keeping it to your golf cart, and you can talk strategy. But he was like, no, dude, we got to walk. And sure enough, what happens? He's like, my feet are super flat. Like I didn't realize. Like I'm like,
idiot.
So I end up taking the bag and I'm just going. But yeah, that was I'd actually played pretty well that tournament. It was just more of like, it was a hotter day. I didn't have enough water, and I did the one mistake that I did the one mistake that I knew I should have, which was I should have packed more PB and J's. PB and J is like my ultimate snack on.
Dude, that's
on
my go-to. I love it. I love that, or like a Cliff
Yeah.
Bar that gets me over the edge. I'm good to go. Yeah.
You know, call me bougie, but like I actually really like the it bars that the kids eat. You know, like I don't know if you and Stephanie give
Maybe not.
Carter those it bars, but dude, those things are like super good. I had the
Sorry,
mango.
Adelina, they're all gone. Didn't we get some yesterday, Dad?
No, so we get them at Costco, so you get the big bag.
Yeah, we literally went to Costco yesterday. We try to say, I'm not fat. I
had 6 meetings yesterday.
Yeah, I earn these.
Yeah.
When's the last time you paid your rent, huh? Speaking of that, when's the last time you paid your rent? Oh man, I mean, so totally separate note here. If you're still with me,
I'm here.
I know it's been a few weeks, maybe a few weeks since this this stuff dropped, but the next big domino supposedly for Liv is supposed to be Jon Rahm with a rumor of $600 million signing bonus. Have you heard anything about that? Do you think it'll happen? A lot of people say he's in the final stages of his talks. That's why he backed out of the TGL league, the golf league or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, again, I think we briefly touched on this. Like the TGL, what's the difference between the TGL league and Liv? You're still playing competitive golf in a virtual experience, mm-hmm. right? But you're taking players away from what the actual purpose of the PGA is. Yep. So again, like, and this kind of opens up the conversation to what we talked about before we went online, which was Rory's tired of being the good boy. Like, mm-hmm. He's like, dude, you guys are bringing these things over, and it's like you still are feeding into what Liv is essentially doing, but giving no reward back to the players, even those who were honest and were true to what the PGA stands for. But dude, honestly, I think now after everything, like Jon Rahm should go for it. I mean, look, DJ, right, being at the top of his game when he left, right, he still gets all the benefits of TaylorMade. He mm-hmm. still is over there on all of the TaylorMade talks. Mm-hmm. He has way more money. He has way more money in the bank than he had ever had in his entire career. Like he's able to basically pick and choose which events, and because he's won majors, he still gets exempt and can still go play. And
exactly.
I think now, like, Rahm's like, what do I need to go grind for $1.5 million for when I got $600 million in the bag? I can do whatever I want now. And still, even if I go play in this tournament, I want to make 17 mil if I come.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Like, that's just a signing bonus. That's not even how much you can win in like a few weeks of their tournaments. You know?
Yeah.
It's insane. And I mean, like, going back to the TGL, like you mentioned, I mean, like, I had seen something popped up on my YouTube where one of these guys, I forget what his name is, but he has like a little bit of controversy stuff, like takes. And he was thinking, and he was like, the video was about, did the TGL, what do they call it? Purposely like tear down their thing or like self-sabotage their thing because of what they saw potentially coming. I didn't watch the video, of course. I'm just a skimmer like the rest of us.
I mean, I know which video you saw. I saw it on our Fore Dads page. It came up on our feed, and I watched both parts of it, and I was like, I 1,000% think that's true. I think he hit it right on the nail. Everything he said was super factual, from like, we're going to get everyone excited about the TGL and also players because now they have an opportunity to make extra cash on the side while still getting their world golf rankings and doing all these different things, as well as bringing new youthful, that's the main thing he said, youthful sponsors to the game, right? And so I watched all that and I was like, he is 100% spot on. Like, honestly, that's exactly what they did. I think that the whole thing happened to create excitement. And basically now that it's like, well, we already got people excited. We had some people signed up for some pre-early events to come. We made a crap ton of money. Like, we're just going to burn it down, make people wait longer.
Burn it for the insurance money, right?
Exactly. Why not? I mean, man, you know, that's some big payout for them on a business piece.
Yeah, I mean, imagine just like, I feel like when you're at the level of how much like being rich where you can just burn stuff down for the insurance money, like you've made it. or have someone self-sabotage something just for the insurance money.
Yeah,
It's like, okay,
just
because
like
not,
Shooter
yeah,
McGavin, just like Shooter
right?
McGavin,
What?
the guy who's like jackass.
Well, I mean, like, imagine just like if you or me just like burn down our house for an insurance money, and it's like, okay, well, we have nowhere else to live after we burn it down. You know, we don't have anyone. You know, like we're screwed. We don't have like all these properties. We don't have all this extra stuff or someone that we can pay on the side that has no family connections anywhere, and we can kill off if we need to. You know, all these going down that deep conspiracy rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But I mean, I saw that and I was pretty interested. Like, that's actually not a bad take because if Rom leaves, man, like that would leave a huge hole. And I mean, like these tournaments now are becoming harder to watch, harder to watch. And no offense to Liv, I like Liv and I like both. I don't have anything against both of them, but it's harder to watch Liv, in my opinion, because of how far away they are. Whether it's like in Australia, the time difference is so different. You know, it's so much harder to watch those ones all over the world. As cool as that is, I can watch the highlights, but I'm definitely a live fan, like
Here's
watching
my
stuff
thing.
live.
Here's my thing. Like, and I'm saying this from like, I'm saying this from a business, you know, kind of outtake, which is I've had conversations with the PGA about using, you know, my existing employer and my previous employer's technologies to kind of, not kind of, but to increase the experience, right? Like, sure, watching it on YouTube TV is great. They make a crap ton of money on their network partnerships, but dude, every other sport has an application, has like their own streaming thing that they do now. Why doesn't the PGA do that? Like, why won't the PGA open up something that truly immerses at all the diehard fans of Tiger, Rory, you know, all the guys that are there, where instead of just talking to journalists, you can literally have, you know, like you could have you know, YouTube influencers, or even just a guy who sits on his couch and is just a golf enthusiast ask a question. You know, like there's technologies now that can do that. And here's my thing: with as smart as the Saudis are, you know, with their money, kind of the, you know, India being like the true Silicon Valley of the world, like why would they not go with a partner somewhere, you know, someone like 100 ms, or someone like I think 100 ms, or either, you know, Video SDK, to like empower their entire real-time streaming, HLS streaming, RTMP capabilities to the whole world. So then that way us in the US, people in Asia, people in freaking Nigeria, Africa, wherever, can watch them whenever they want, just like how you can go onto YouTube knowing that, like, hey, I missed it because it was at 2 a.m., but
Right.
it's in my DVR, right?
Right.
I mean, it's all subscription paid. Like, dude, subscriptions is the one thing that I think most Americans are learning. Like, we forget we have, and you just keep paying them, and you don't even know about it. Like, I'll be honest, that's like my Babbel subscription is $5 a month to learn Portuguese, and I haven't even touched it in like 6 months. or like my wife with the Peloton, I pay $44 for that thing, and none of us have even written. I mean, none of us have even written it in a while. Now it's just a super fancy like clothes hanger.
Right. No, I mean, you bring up a good point. And one thing that I just did think of off the top of my head, I mean, like, have you been noticing over the last year or two, a lot of professional athletes that are still playing in sports have their own podcasts? Draymond Green, he'll be in like the finals, and that night he'll record a podcast live with people watching, talking about the game. And I'm like,
He'll
just
talk
thinking
about
right
all
now,
the pieces,
all the calls, everything that's going on, like, oh,
he'll
things
burn
you didn't
reps.
hear,
Oh yeah,
you know, exactly. Like, and there's also a lot of other like professional athletes that are doing this as well, because it's a side hustle. It's another way to make income. You know, get yourself out there, be more. What is it? What do you call it when like you're able to promote yourself? What do you call that?
diverse.
You're more what?
Diverse.
No, not diverse. Like people want to use you to buy products and stuff like that. Like you're more not productable. What's the term? You're like more. They can use you to sell products. Like what do you call that kind of a thing? Anyway,
No idea.
anyway,
I can't.
like people that like aren't like big, right? People that aren't huge. That let's say, what's his name? Tyrone Maxey. There's a guy who plays for the Philadelphia 76ers, and he's like a rookie last year. His last name's like Maxey. He started a podcast. Like people like that were like they're big, but not that big, but that'll build their brand to, you know, like not just get them on the map more, but also people hearing what they have to talk about from James Harden from the inside, you know, or something else that they might not be able to get stuff. Like, why wouldn't Rory McIlroy have his own podcast talking about the ins and outs of all this stuff? Why wouldn't Tiger Woods? He doesn't need to. He's got his money.
Yeah, but Tiger does all kinds of different like events, right? Like he does like professional speaking events.
True.
But I think a lot of the players, especially someone like Rory already dislikes the media and kind of being in front of them because
true, it's like, and he also has so much money too, where it's not really something that he needs to do, right?
I don't even think it's about the money for him. Ultimately, I think it's just more the respect for the game, and he understands like things are just not as good as what we all kind of perceive them to be, and because he wears his emotions on his sleeve, like he has a lot of information that he could just leak and say and express and really kind of deep dive into everything to really give the truth to people. And he just tries to avoid it. But I was going to say, to your point, like one kid who is super good, which I also find it is a bit controversial too, is Travis Hunt from University of Colorado.
Yep.
He's a two-way player, right?
Yeah.
He does Travis talks by like playing Call of Duty or Fortnite, and he just talks about the game, talks about like the season, talks about, you know, when he got hurt and his injuries, and everyone was like, oh, you know, in the chat, like, did you think that was intentional? And he's like, no, man, he's just playing the game. It's a fast-moving game, like. It is what it is, you know.
Everyone's like, bro, he literally just laid you out. That was totally intentional. We have every view. You could say that because you're being a nice guy, but come on, bro. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's funny that he's able to do that to also monetize himself and be God, I know it's
marketable. That's the term. Marketable. Right? That's the term.
And be marketable for all these brands that he has, especially all of his NIL deals. But dude, just a few years ago, you had that YouTuber who was
the punter for like UCF or whatever. He had like 200,000 subscribers. Yeah,
remember that. And then like the NCAA comes down on him and says, "You either need to choose your YouTube channel or football." And he was like, "I'm going YouTube."
Yeah, and now, right.
And now I heard that there's a rumor that apparently he could be coming into like the Jacksonville Jaguars or something like that.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like that's such a long road to get to the NFL. Like he's been, I mean, he's only, I think he went and played in like the Canadian League, or I think he did some XFL stuff for a while, but like to play at that level, and I'm just like, bro, like that's
did you hear about, you know, the kicker for Dallas Cowboys this year, Aubrey? I forget his first name, but his last name's Aubrey, and it's his first year in the NFL. He played soccer at Notre Dame. Was watching TV like 2 years ago with his wife and was like, I could do that. And literally just started practicing, became a kicker for the USFL last year, signed with the Cowboys this year, and hasn't missed a kick. Like, what? Like, that is so, like you said, how hard it is just to get the professional sports, but like, you don't even play that. Yes, soccer is, you're obviously using your feet, but it's a different ball, a different physics, a lot of different things that go into it. And it was just like one of those stories where like, the dude hasn't missed a kick. What? Like, I remember like 5-10 years ago, Texas Tech, they literally had a terrible kicker. Their coach had open tryouts for anyone that was a full-time student to come out and try. And the next day they got their kicker, who was a walk-on. I don't know if he played anywhere, but he ended up going 7 for 7 on extra points like the next game. It was insane.
Well, think of what's that guy? Ocho Cinco, right? Yep. Played soccer, had a boot, and what did he do? He came in and he had 3 kicks in his career and made 3 kicks. Like,
wait, who? Ocho Cinco?
Yeah, Chad Ocho Cinco.
He 3 kicks where? He kicked in actual football too.
Yeah, he had 3 extra point kicks.
No way.
Yeah, he had 3 extra point kicks for the Bengals. I think their kicker was out, and literally their coach was like, "Chad, you think you could do
Wow.
it?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, I could do it, coach." Goes in there, lines them up, kicks. He kicked 2 extra point field goals, one actual field goal from like 30 something yards, something like that.
Dang. I mean, I
Yeah,
know he loves his FIFA, but that's awesome. I mean, that's pretty
yeah.
awesome. But I do also want to talk about, well, really quickly, in a few weeks, Julio's come back out to the Central Valley. We're going to get some more content. I'm not sure how we're going to do it, if we're going to do the same route again, where we try to break our 3 under and then go match play. We'll talk about it. But
We should just do
we're
a full 18 match play
full
because
18 match play. That's a
because
long tournament. Yeah, we could. We
well because
could.
it'll just be us and basic. I mean, it'll just be us, but we'll need to play earlier though because I mean, even with what we did in the beginning, like
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason why we cut it close for time was because at the end it was like you and I having to hit our golf balls. So I think we
Well, no,
will.
honestly, I think it was because it was a foursome. Not nothing
No,
against like Corey and Martin, but I
you
mean like
suck.
just the no, no, I mean like the more people you play with, it obviously takes more time. And if you're doing match play, you don't finish out a lot of the holes, both of them, right? It's usually good or someone beats you and you don't have to finish out the hole. So I would assume that we could be fine,
I
but
I think we should do a full 18 match play and just and I'll give you I won't give you 7, but I'll give you 5 strokes aside. You're not a 7 handicap. Me and Corey talked about this super intensely. I'm like, there's no way he's a 7. If he actually kept the
dude,
handicap, I think you're at least a 3 at worst, a 1 at best.
no way. Okay, I appreciate that,
Dude,
but my problem
you
is
have
consistency. That's my thing, the
no
consistency.
one has
I
consistency in golf. I don't even
I,
have consistency in
well,
golf.
I know, but
You
then you
just get
also
up
got to
and
bring
down.
into the fact that you also played with the wrong driver shaft for whatever reason. You had the wrong. So like I know that's a big thing. I know for me, if I would be in my head all
Yeah,
day long.
I was in my head all day.
Like exactly. Yeah, we saw it in the clips, and that was
That's why I threw it.
you made the videos, man. You made the videos. Like you and Joey Cold Cuts. I don't know. You guys would have a
Yeah,
good little match, but no. I mean, I appreciate those kind words.
I'm
But
telling you, bro, and I'm telling all of you that are listening. John's got the mittens of a freaking 2 month old kitten. Like just the softest little paws when it comes to these greenside shots. And then
dude, if you
I
would have
was
seen me
watching
two
your
months
last
ago,
video.
yeah,
But that's 2 months ago. You've played a
yeah,
lot of golf since 2 months ago, and plus,
true.
I was looking at your Copper River. Me and Adelina watched your Copper River video, and we broke it down. I'm like, I don't think you had one miss putt where your miss was like more than 2 feet. Like your
Mm,
speed is dialed. Like if you honestly kept a handicap, I think if so the way that the handicap is kept is based off of your best or I'm sorry, your first 5 scores. So if you were to come in and say like, "Oh crap, I shot 85. I shot 80, 83, 80,
mm-hmm,
87 and a 90."
mm-hmm.
It would take the accumulated average of whatever those scores were and give you a handicap, which with that would probably be somewhere around a 7, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But then as you continue to play better and you actually score less than what those accumulated scores are, then you start dropping. Like my first scores going in, I was playing golf 3 times a week when I renewed my NCGA. I was playing three times a week, if not 4, and I literally was like my game was just dialed. It was like right in the middle of 2020, yeah, 2020 and 2021 at the end. My game was dialed. I was playing great golf, and sure
Yeah,
enough, like I come in and my handicap is right at a 2. And then I started playing some tournament golf, started getting some better scores, started playing in like events, and then they started plugging those in. Then my handicap went to like a 0. Then all of a sudden I go and play some more skins games, and stuff, and I'm playing really well. All of a sudden my handicap, I think the lowest my handicap got was a +3, and I was like, this sucks. Like I have to give strokes back now. So
Yeah.
now I'm literally sitting at from my last round that I played, which was just 9 holes. I shot 36 with two bogeys and 2 birdies. Shot on the front 9. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm still average.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still
Yeah.
sitting around a 1 to a 0.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
Yeah, just watch. Julio's like, yeah, I'm just building up John. I'm giving like 4 strokes or whatever, and then ends up just wiping the floor with me. It's like, yeah, you suck.
No.
I knew you weren't that good. I knew it. Sandbagging, mother trucker.
Nah, dude, I like seriously. Me and Corey were talking about it after. I was like, when we were sitting there at Buffy's, I was like, yeah, I was like, dude, I was shocked with how good your hands were around the green. I mean, we both had some tough shots, but like you pulled off some good shots. Even that chipping
I was shocked too
on that par 4, I was like, what? Like,
I was shocked too, dude. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I was shocked. For one, I have never chipped in ever. I chipped in. That won me a hole. 2, that sand shot. Well, no, that par 3 that you end up 3-putting because you smash your putt and you miss the second putt by like a half a roll.
Short.
Like you even knew, like it was that close to being like a going into the 9th hole, close. But and then also to start the back 9, you gave me a 6-foot putt. And I thank you for that to go halvesies on it, but I don't think I would have made that if I'm being honest with you. I mean, it's 6 feet. It's at least like a 40% chance I would have made it, in my opinion. Like 6-foot putts in general.
Because no matter
what do they say for the PGA Tour, the average of a PGA Tour is like from 6 feet is what, like 40%, 50% make it. But yeah. I know their greens are different, but you
had a stroke on that hole, and plus I had lost the ball. So it was like,
I know, but you still hit your shot onto the green for a par. And it made the hole terrible. But you literally helped me out. I was like, thanks, dude. I'll take it. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to be like, nah.
I don't know. I just was like, whatever.
We will see. If we do an 18-hole match, yeah, we will really see how it goes. And the cool thing is, I was telling Julio, Black Friday came up. I got a really nice drone, and dude, I've been flying this thing. I got the controls all set up so it's kind of like COD. You move forward with the left stick, look right with the left, or with the right stick, left and right. And so because if you've ever flown a drone, their setup is different. It's flip flopped. Where up and down is the left stick, and it's
a tactical setup where the left side is the piece that goes up and down, the right side is the piece that goes
exactly. So I changed it.
Left is actually right. It's weird.
Yeah, it was so confusing, but I found out that there are different modes, and I was like, oh, okay, now I can fly it without having to think while doing it. I can actually just go without doing it. 4K, it'll be so sweet. Hopefully we can get some really cool shots when Julio is able to come out. We won't do any flyovers because they already have a flyover for their website, but we'll hopefully get some cool shots. I'll bring it out. If it's a slow day, that'll help as well, because then you don't have to worry about, getting in the way of anybody. But it'll be really, really cool to mess around with, because the quality is just insane. And one thing I will also mention as well, I realized this when I uploaded my last video, I had not been uploading in 4K when I rendered our videos that we had. They came out in 4K, like the quality of the GoPro and everything was all 4K. But when I rendered it on Final Cut Pro, for whatever reason, it was like 1080. And if you go and try and watch our videos on there, it only goes up to 720. And I was like, why is it only going 720? They're all recorded on 4K. And then when I did the other one, I was like, oh, I just didn't click the right setting.
Wait, so you're telling me that my sick dance moves, my awesome...
It's in 720, I know. No. I have it recorded. So I actually have the on a what do you call it? On a backup USB, or what do you call it? A external hard drive. I have that video still in 4K, but the YouTube, where it's on YouTube, is unfortunately 720. So I do apologize for that. But YouTube speaking, we're at 310 subs, dude. We have been pumping subscribers over the last few weeks. I think they said we've added like 140 over the last month.
Awesome.
And if we reach over 500, we're that much closer to being able to monetize, which would be nice, even though we'd still be making pennies on the dollar with how much we're getting. But shorts have been killing it. Shorts are the quick little clips, just like the reels on Instagram, the TikTok videos that are like 60 seconds. We're averaging over our last like 11 posts, like 3,000 views. And that has just been pumping up. I'm still waiting on Julio to send me these clips, because yesterday or the day before I texted him like, hey man,
Yeah, I know.
I need some content, because it's just me on here.
My GoPro's literally just sitting in the trunk of my car. I'm just like, yeah, I know. It's just sitting back there. I've just been lazy.
Ugh, man, no, it's all right. Let's see here. Anything news related on my end for golf? I just went to the range today. Only hit driver 3-wood and 7-wood. Getting back into it because, get this. So before I talk a little bit about my experience at Copper River, 30 minutes before I leave for my tee time on Tuesday to go to Copper River, I'm playing with my son. I'm laying down on my back. Like, I don't know if you're like with Adelina, you'll lay down on your back, you'll lay her up and like have your arms out where she's like flying,
No.
And I'm like kicking myself back a little bit, to make him like go farther back, towards my head. And I just go too far, man. And I like crunch my neck because like I go too far and I lose my balance. And dude, I still have this like pain underneath like my shoulder blade. And I felt it and I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. You just had to do that, didn't you? You just had to do that. And so I was playing with this stupid pain, man. And then 2 days later, I'm playing flag football, which is obviously a great time. No issues. I have no problems. I still have the pain. But obviously, I drink a little bit on Thanksgiving. And Friday was brutal, man, because not only was I exhausted and tired and sore from, running and all that stuff, but I was extremely dehydrated from drinking. And oh my gosh, man, I was in so much pain. I had to get a dang massage from Massage Envy. Oh, it was so freaking brutal. But when was the last time you played a Copper?
2017.
Okay.
I'd have to say it's been a while because I was
okay.
It's been a long time.
Been a long time. But
the course still looked the same.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I was married there back in 2019. Beautiful. It looked beautiful. Like the course looked beautiful from that area, right? Everything, like the whole office, the clubhouse, all that stuff looked great. And then it's like the farther out you got, it just was nice, but it just wasn't as pristine as like what it looked like when you were at the clubhouse. The clubhouse just looks amazing, immaculate. Everything's so bright green. And some of the tee boxes, if you watch the video, you're like, that looks like it could be at Riverside. No downside to Riverside, but like when you're playing at a course that charges you $500 a month, like plus like an $8,000 to $15,000 initiation, you're telling me that's the kind of tee box that you're playing at? And greens were great, but it was something that I was like, wow, I'm kind of glad that I ended up not going the route of being a member there. Like, good course, great course, but something that I would not pay that much money for. Like from what I've seen at Madera Country Club, I would have paid Madera Country Club's at least I think the initiation is like $1,000 to $2,000, and you pay like $300 a month. Like, I would easily pay that. I'd drive a little bit farther just to go do that. And it's more well upkept. And I played there a few times, but I was just very surprised. Very surprised. Yeah. I mean, great course, don't get me wrong, but I just think the name and the homes around it is height. All the hype, because dude, the homes around it though are insane. The backyards, especially now, like when you went, their homes were still getting built. Now all the homes are around there, dude. These backyards are about the size of my house, and my house is not small. And these, like the backyards probably cost as much as my house, like with the pool, with the pool house, plus the barbecue setup and everything. But I did have that really, really tragic and scarring putt that I'm sure you saw, where I hit the flag pin.
Yeah, and that one.
To be honest, I didn't even think that the flag pin was going to be an issue, because I was like 30 feet away from that putt. Yeah, I
wish I would have
smashed the
got.
freaking flag fin.
I wish I would have got it on video, but like Adelina was just sitting there, like, and all of a sudden it hits the pin. And she goes. I was like, oh, you're brutal.
Idiot.
Yeah.
What
She's
an
like, what a
amateur,
noob.
dude. You
Yeah,
played
what a
golf
noob.
before? My gosh, man. My dad totally would have pulled that flag.
Yeah.
Gosh.
All right. I just sent you some clips on the Fore Dad's email.
Let's go. Awesome. Okay. So anything else you want to talk about for the golf world for the time being? I feel like we've had a good little, catch up over the last few weeks.
Nothing really pressing on like the golf world. I mean, I'm still going back and forth if I want to buy new clubs. Did you hear me?
One more time. No.
Oh, I said I'm still going back and forth if I want to buy new clubs or not.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm looking into in the future, my next thing, which my wife will not be happy that there is another thing, but I feel like that's just with golf. There's always another thing.
Yeah.
So looks like you're frozen right now. Awesome. I will wait a second. Okay, you're back.
No, I'm here. I was just standing still.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay. What do you call it? Graphite shafts. Eventually, I'm going to get all of my clubs graphite shafts, and you are not blinking like that on purpose. Okay. Now I'm going to say it again. Graphite shafts. I'm going to get graphite shafts eventually, because I was thinking like the Jumbo Max grips do help my wrists and all that stuff a lot better than what like the other ones did. But I was thinking, what else could like help absorb? And I was like, oh, I've noticed that a lot of older guys use those.
But I don't. So here's my only thing, and this is just from watching your videos and watching obviously us playing. But dude, I don't think graphite shafts are going to benefit you, because you're going to need something that is still stout, because you already hit the ball high enough, right? So I don't think you're going to need it, because now you're still going to need something that's stout, but you're looking to probably pay anywhere from like $350 to $400 a shaft.
No, not that. Well, no, hear me out.
If you want something that's going to be able to withstand, I mean, you don't swing the club slow. Like you compress the ball really, really well. So that's what I'm saying is like, I don't think that that'd be the right play for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like my buddy Brandon, who is the assistant pro, he plays with those with graphite shafts as well.
Yeah, the LA golf shafts.
The LA golf shafts, yeah. And he was saying, something about like $90 a shaft or something like that, which normally like 120, 150.
Really?
No. That's how much he would get me for them. He said. Anyway, he has some, so he's like, hey, just try them out of my bag. If you like it, let me know. I'll get you set up, and then you can try it out before, because it's not something that I'm just going to go in blindly and just say, hey, if it's going to help, I'm going to try it. I at least want to try it out a little bit before making a big purchase like that, But if it'll help with that, I would definitely not be against it. He said, for starters, whatever you start with, I always recommend the wedges. Start with the wedges and then work your way down. He said wedges were like a game changer for him. He has them all on his wedges. But again, we'll see. I mean, it's not set in stone, but again, anything that can help me continue to play longer and as consistent, I'll trust someone obviously that I'm playing golf with who plays with these kind of clubs as well and still is in the fitting world. Compared to someone as strong as you.
I mean, again, like you're a tall, lanky guy, so you're already creating enough drag. So that's the thing is like, I personally, I don't think that's a play. I think if anything, you should just play, I think you should just keep playing what you're playing and like have fun. I mean, I don't think that would benefit you anymore personally, getting graphite. If anything, I think it's going to hurt you, because you're going to put more spin on the ball, which is going to increase your launch. your descent angle is going to be steeper, so now you're going to have to be seeking pins, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you have a problem with, but
I don't think I always hit them.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how you want to play, like how you initially want to play it, right? Like you kind of remove some of the playability from your clubs now. Just in my experience.
Right. No, I appreciate that obviously because you were a fitter for a while and you're in the game for a while. You have a lot of experience in that realm. I'm just trying to figure out what'll work better, and I'm all for trying new things. I'm open, But yeah, I feel like that's a good spot to wrap up the podcast for this week. And again, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. Check us out.
I want to actually mention something. Hang on.
Okay, here we go.
So for the first time in a long time, I went to the range. I went to the range and I pulled out my Mevo.
Oh.
And dude, it was like it wasn't working.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of frustrating. I was like, what the heck's going on? Because they just put like the Top Golf foresights in at the club.
You're trying to check it?
I was trying to check it because it was like telling me that I was hitting my driver like 250, and I was like, "There's no freaking way."
Nuh-uh.
So let me, yeah. So I was like, let me check my Mevo, and like I hit one driver, and it's like 315 carry total 345, and I was like, "Oh, cool." And then all of a sudden after that, it just was like, and I was like, "What the heck's going on with this thing?" And then it kept like shutting off, and I'm like, "Dude, this thing has been charged and jacked up for so long, like." What happened? Don't tell me it's like my car fob where if it gets cold the battery just like ends up not working.
No way. No way.
Frustrating.
I mean, heck yeah, that sounds frustrating. I was using mine today. I had no issues. For the first time I actually felt comfortable with my numbers that I was getting. I was getting 245 for my 7-wood, 255 for my 3-wood, and like 265, 270 from my driver before like carry. A little cooler outside, but not terrible. But I'll take those as long as they're consistent. I'll take those numbers any day.
Yeah, those are solid numbers, man. See, I'm telling you. And then on top of that too, you got to think like what Dragonfly is firm fairways. Like it definitely is a course that runs for you. Like,
well, yeah, and that's my thing. It's very firm, and that definitely plays worse on my wrists per se. I
mean, come on, I got
weak wrists, bro.
But you're not even steep on the ball, though, dude. You take shallow divots. I think you're steeper when it comes to like your full shot wedges. That I did notice, but for the most part, you have a smooth shallow swing that comes in, and I mean you compress right on top of the ball, but your swing is like from in to out, which is shocking that you still hit a cut. I'm telling you, me and Adelina was like dibble dabbing on her little drawing board, and I'm like sitting there like taking notes, and I'm like, I might learn something today.
Yeah, if you want to learn something, just watch all of my videos over the last like 3 or 4 months and see how much my swing has changed. You'd be like, dude, what are you doing? You shot under par and you're changing your swing? What a moron. Do you have any trust in yourself, bro?
You're so dumb, Karen.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Fore Podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Next week, hopefully we'll be able to get another one in for you guys. I will be out of town for work, but hopefully we can get it going. Be on the lookout for it. And thank you guys for your support. And we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to stay fly and go low.
Take care, everybody. Happy holidays.